Oh, really? So that weekend we won't have a show, and then the following weekend we'll have one. Obviously, we'll do one the weekend after that barbecue, or the day after that barbecue. We still haven't redone our what's called yet. Our intro. I have to give Bobby Evans credit today.
Yeah, what?
I have to give Bobby Evans credit today.
What, for stepping down?
No, for a move he just made. An actual GM move.
Oh, the pitcher?
Yeah, but there's more to it than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's actually remarkable.
Really?
Yeah!
So are the reports true that Sabian's taken over?
I haven't seen that.
I have.
Oh, well, if you can find that, let me know. We'll look into it. That might be part of this move then. Maybe Sabian generated this deal. Nope, don't do that. Don't do that. Nope, 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 nope.
What was that?
That's how we're going to fix it. It was the Wildfire Radio part. Like, no, don't do that. No, 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 no. Episode 237. You're up.
Whoops. Hello, wait, I'm here. I'm going to. What's happening? It is Sunday. You know what that means? It means episode 237 of this great monster of Sports Talk 916 that we call Sports Talk 916. I'm Coach Greg. That's Mr. Chief Greg Bull.
What's up?
What's happening?
What happening?
What happening? How's your week?
Good. Busy week. It was obviously Valentine's week, which always brings up just a cluster F.
You were so sweet to your wife. It's so gushy and messy.
I tried to make sure that I wasn't.
It was an epic fail.
Right, and then we went out to McCoon's on Friday night, and then we went to Punchline and saw a show Friday night.
Nice. You had the DMC roll too, didn't you?
I did have we had six rolls.
Just how many? Just you and her?
Yeah, we split them.
Holy cow!
Well, so I won a contest through the People of Sacramento on Instagram. And
all you can eat sushi.
No, so what it ended up being was an $80 gift card, plus we got two rides on Lyft Lux, which is their black car service.
Ooh, hello.
So Lyft is like $12 from here to Hazel, right?
Right.
Lyft Lux was $48 both ways.
Oh shit!
It was crazy. We rode in a Mercedes E-Class the first way, and then a Audi A6, which was really nice on the way back. But it was cool, and we went out to comedy show with some friends, and and did that thing, and yeah, it was a good weekend. And then yesterday I went up and ran 5.5 miles up in Auburn with a group of people. Albert Chavez was one of them, and
cool.
a few other folks. So good times. How was your week?
It was good. It was good. I spent mostly working. Had a couple of great open houses. I have a great open house story for you from last week after I left here. Open house over in Fair Oaks. House has been on the market forever and ever. Power's off. When the power's on, heating is off.
Nice.
And come to find out, the water's turned off. You know how I found out?
You had to poop.
Nope, somebody else did.
Oh.
Without asking.
Oh.
So a guy walks in and he walks up to me and goes, "Hey man, I'm really sorry. Did you know the water's off?" I went, "Yeah, kind of." He says, "Well, I had to take a dump, and I can't flush it." So, luckily nobody came in. I searched around for about an hour trying to figure out a way to flush the toilet. Found 2 mason jars that the stager had.
You had to scoop
No.
it?
They have a pool. So I went and filled up the mason jars with water from the pool, poured it in the back of the tank of the toilet.
So they had it. Yeah. Nice. I thought you went in and did a manual scoop job.
No. I would have puked my brains out.
I thought you were doing a manual scoop job. I was like,
no manual scoop job. So yeah, that's my highlight. So other than that, just working hard and trying to make some money. Right on.
So yeah, you have one today too, right?
No.
Yep.
Today's I forgot to wish you a happy Daytona 500 day.
It is Daytona 500 day.
So my buddy Scott has a big Daytona 500.
Hey, Barn Bomb. We haven't seen you on here in a while.
Mikey! My buddy Scott has a big Daytona 500 party every year. What?
Well, that's just a yoga thing.
Oh, look like porn.
No, my mom sent it to me. You freak.
Oh, well, how do I know? I just see some chick on her fours. So we have a big Daytona 500 party this afternoon or this morning. So that's always fun. I get to hang out with my redneck conservative guys that talk about libtards and all kinds of fun stuff.
Yay.
It'll be great because they'll be talking about gun control and we'll just sit there.
Don't even get me started on that shit.
So anyway, that's always fun. Other than that, just smooth sailing.
Right on, cool. So we'll it's a
You
never.
gonna watch All-Star Game today?
Fuck no. I haven't watched anything about the All-Star Game at all. I watched like 10 minutes of the Celebrity Game. I knew 2 names, and I was like, fuck this, I'm done with it. The NBA All-Star Weekend is broken.
It looked like I saw 2 dunks last night.
And they weren't even good.
No.
I saw the one where the dude, was it Nance Jr., bounced it off the backboard.
I saw that's the one I saw.
And NBA.com goes, he double tapped it! And then they showed the video, and he single tapped it off the glass, so good job.
I saw one where they had a secondary standard
behind it,
yep. And he threw it off that one and dunked it on it.
That one was kind of cool. That was Donovan Mitchell from the Jazz. Now, that one wasn't so bad, but no, it was just boring, and the skills competition was stupid, and the three-pointers, no one can make them, and
which is amazing. I would think in now's NBA time where everybody in the game is shooting 3-pointers, that would be one that would be super competitive and have some big scores.
I'm telling you, they need to reverse it. They need to have a point guard dunk contest, and they need to have a big man 3-point contest, and just flip it around. TJ just asked, is it worth it for Sac to even get the All-Star Game if it's not fun? So
yes.
Sacramento is looking to put in a bid for the now it's looking like it'll be the 2023 game. It was supposed to be the 2022 game. NBA basically came out and said it's Boston's if they want it in 2022. And here's Mike. Would your opinion about NBA All-Star Weekend change if Sacramento were to host the festivities? No. NBA All-Star Weekend is stupid. First of all, the All-Star break for every other sport on the planet is at the halfway mark of the season. The NBA All-Star Weekend is 56 games into an 82-game season. What the fuck is the point? You're not giving the guys a break. All you're doing is giving the playoff teams a little bit of a break before the Mad Push, which is ridiculous. Do it at the middle. Let teams regroup in the middle of the season before their season's lost and get some extra practice time in and give the fans a break. 2, the format is boring. They tried to mix it up this year with the draft of the captains and spinning the teams together. That will make it a little bit more interesting, but I still feel like it's a broken system.
You know what would be interesting about that is if they had the draft of the players right before the game started.
Yeah. That would be cool. That way no one knows.
Right.
No practice, no nothing. Just get your asses out there and play.
Then it'd be just even more of a pickup game. There'd be even less defense played.
There's more defense at Rucker Park than there is here.
Right.
Come on, let's be real.
So I have a little bit of a different take on it. I think that Sacramento hosting the All-Star Game would be a good thing.
Absolutely. I agree.
Okay. Never mind.
Mike said, would my opinion on the game
change?
No.
The game's still going to be shit, but having that game in Sacramento would be awesome. Now, I don't know if we have enough hotel rooms. Enough swanky hotel rooms.
We'll get into that. So, have you looked at the bid? Have you seen anything about the bid?
No, I have not.
So, right now, the bid obviously includes Golden One Center to be the host of the game.
Right.
And all the festivities.
Oh, I did. You know what? I do. I think I do know.
They're talking about opening up Capitol Mall for like the concerts and all that other stuff,
cool.
and that they do right there in the pavilion in the middle of Capitol Mall, like they do for all the other marathons and whatnot, which I think would be great.
Right.
Outdoor atmosphere. To fix the hotels, they still have the one down there by City Hall. What's the old one? The Citizen. The Citizen.
Sheridan.
No, it's the old one. It's like red and black. Right on the corner across from Cesar Chavez Park.
Well, that's the Citizen.
Yeah, the Citizen. So they still have that one. That one's still kind of swanky. That would be
the new Sawyer.
They have the Sawyer, and then the bid is including bringing in cruise liners to park them right in the river.
I did hear that.
Right outside of the bridge and basically have them there, which I think is a cool element to it. It's something that's totally different than it's ever been done. It surpasses everything that was brought up before about doing. Oh, we'll have them in Napa and we'll do this. You're gonna have them 2 hours away.
Yeah,
really?
That's stupid.
So
just imagine 2 hours away with no traffic, or an hour away with no traffic.
They're also talking about closing down dedicated lines of downtown in order to have uninterrupted and unabated transportation paths for, they're calling them anonymous cars, so that you don't know who's in the cars, players, executives, owners, whatever, to have a streamline from the hotels or the boats right to Golden One. So it'll be interesting. I don't think Sacramento has the infrastructure to pull this off.
I don't think they do either.
There's just not enough. I mean, players and executives and celebrities alone is going to put all of those ideas to the max. And then what about fans that come in and fans that want to be a part of it? And it's just, I don't know that right now Sacramento has the infrastructure to make it work. And the longer they wait, the harder it's going to get, because they're not going to be the big fancy new, super arena anymore.
In 5 years, Golden One's going to be not outdated, but it's going to be middle of the road.
Right. Barmom says, I'm not sure when it comes to baseball if their All-Star break comes exactly once all teams have played 81 of their 162 games. I believe the baseball teams are more around 95. Right, Mike, but 95 is a whole hell of a lot closer when there's 162 games than 56 is when there's only 82 games. I mean, based on raw numbers, sure, it's roughly the same number of games past the midway point, but when there's only, 17, 18 games left, 22 games left in an NBA season, but there's still almost 100 games left in a baseball season, that's a big difference. TJ says, staying on a cruise ship was good enough for Team USA in 2016. It would be great to have those here for the All-Star game. Yeah, I think it would be cool.
I just don't know if you can have enough to...
Yeah, how many, are you going to fill the whole river?
Yeah, it's going to take 3 or 4. I'm not sure if the river's deep enough.
And if you haven't seen those things, they're kind of big. If you've never seen a cruise ship, like a Carnival Cruise Line ship.
Yeah, I don't see them bringing in a Carnival cruise ship.
Right, but I'm just saying, those Bayliners are pretty... Yeah. They're pretty sizable. Yeah. So, there's always that. We were going to talk about the Kings a little bit. There's been a lot of uproar all over social media the last couple of weeks, still involving Vlade Divac and his moves and the things he made at the trade deadline and how the Kings players are terrible and this or that or whatever. And the Kings youngsters got out there and put on a little bit of a show on Friday night. Buddy Hield put up 29 in the Rising Stars game for Team World. Bojan Bogdanovic. Bojanovic, whatever the hell Chris Webber said. He won the MVP. And people are literally blowing... Hold on.
Uh-oh. We haven't had a barn bomb for a while.
So, Mike's partially correct in this. But he says there's a Marriott, which, okay, that could be okay for, fans and lower-end, employees. The La Quinta and a new Hampton Inn hotel along the Gold Line. Marriott and La Quinta are by Sunrise Station. Hampton Inn is adjacent to the University of 65th Street Station. They all can help regarding hotel room availability if downtown cannot accommodate. First of all, Marriott, maybe. The La Quinta Inn and the Hampton Inn off 65th Street, nobody in the NBA higher up than a fucking ball boy is staying in a La Quinta or a Hampton Inn.
Hey, Mr. Barkley, welcome to the Hampton Inn. Can we get you a complimentary chocolate chip cookie?
Hi, Mr. Gilbert. I know you're the owner of the Cavs. Welcome to our complimentary breakfast. You can have a bear claw we bought at Costco and a cup of cold coffee. That's not gonna fly. What's up, Albert Chavez?
Albert?
No, it's just no, Mike. Stop. Anyways, what was I saying? So People are ripping Chris Webber, an asshole the size of the Grand Canyon right now for incorrectly pronouncing Bogdanovic's name. Now, if it was a one-time deal, like if Webber wasn't involved in the broadcast and the NBA went, hey, a king is winning the MVP. Chris, it'd be cool for you to go out there and go ahead and present him the award. Here you go. Good luck. And he messes the name up. I get it.
Right.
But from what I understand, Webber was on the broadcast team. He was in the game the whole time and said his name wrong the entire game. Your job, Chris Webber, as a broadcaster, is to look at the phonetic spelling of someone's name and learn it. If you follow Scott Moak, the Kings PA announcer, on Snapchat or on Facebook, Instagram, wherever you want to follow him, and certain players in the NBA come in as visitors, Scott always is posting pictures of the phonetic spelling of some of the hardest names in the NBA. Giannis Antetokounmpo is one of the ones that the phonetic spelling is longer than the actual spelling of his name because of how hard it is to pronounce.
Right.
I guarantee you the NBA All-Star staff had phonetic spelling for every player.
Oh, absolutely.
And Webber just went, nah, whatever.
And it's not like Webber hasn't done Kings games this year.
Right.
So, little history on me, and this is nowhere near, so I'm not saying this is as important, but I DJ'd weddings for 12 years. The last thing you wanted, and I did Indian weddings, I did...
Dots or TPs?
I did...
Dots or TPs?
What?
Dots or TPs? You said Indian weddings.
Oh, both.
Oh, okay.
Both. I did he was Czechoslovakian.
Oh, Jesus.
And she was Thai. So...
Good luck.
Yeah, right? I didn't screw up any names. Because
what you do is you have the class to sit down and go, excuse me, your name's a little hard. How do you want me to say your name?
Absolutely. When I meet with people, it's, okay, your name is not easy for me to say. It's spelled completely different than what it sounds. I want you to write out exactly how you want me to say it.
Excuse me, Bride, why does your name have an ampersand in it?
Right.
Like, there's hashtags in here. What the hell do you want me to do?
So it's his job. And for those of you that have listened for a while, you know that there's one person in Sacramento that drives me nuts.
Mike Barman.
Well, besides Mike.
Just kidding, Mike. We love you,
Mike. We love you. Del Rogers, Channel 3. It's been on TV 20 years?
At least.
And he still messes names up on a daily basis. I don't know how this guy has a job. He just doesn't do it. It's not professional. By the way, I put something out about that the other day, and one of my friends said he's just a big, huge douchebag, too.
Oh, I've talked to him in Rivercats media boxes. He's not an approachable. He just he thinks his shit doesn't stink to the nth degree.
And that's part of it, because he can get away with mispronouncing names that should be easy, not easy for you to say, but should be easy for you to figure out how to say or hear them said. Because you can watch highlights and other announcers who are better than you are going to be able to say it. And you don't take the time to do it. And that's exactly what Chris Webber did. He didn't take the time. And, maybe it was a form of disrespect. Maybe he was trying to diss the Kings. I don't know.
I don't think Webber goes that far.
I
just think it's a lack of preparation.
He's just lazy.
For example, we call Sacramento Sirens women's football games.
Right.
Our very first game, we go up and we have the roster, and we go down to the coaches. We're like, hey, we don't understand this one, this one, this one. So they start giving us phonetic spelling. First half of the game, Sirens star running back, I can't remember what her name is now. She got the ball. Let's be conservative and say she got the ball on 87% of the offensive plays. It was like handoff city. Samia Bailey, I think her name was.
Yeah. I
was saying Samia. That's how the phonetic was written out. Someone wrote the phonetic code wrong.
Right.
So whole game on the PA to the whole stadium, all 80 people. Samia Bailey on the carry, first down, sirens, blah blah blah. Halftime, someone's pounding on the door. We're like, the fuck? Like, someone comes in, hey, you're saying her name wrong. Every time she hears it, she's hearing it wrong. It's Samia or it's Samia, whatever it was, Samia. It was Samia. Get up, make sure it's right. It's her family hears it, blah blah blah. I'm like, cool, I'll make the adjustment. Someone should have been in Weber's ear and said, hey, it's not Bujanovic, it's Bogdanovich. Get it right. There's 2 of them in the damn league. Like, learn the name.
There was a producer in his ear. There had to have been. So not only do I put that on Weber, I also put it on the production team for not correcting it. But still, it's Weber's fault. And there was somebody online in one of the chat rooms that was forgiving Weber and saying it wasn't his fault.
Bullshit.
And yeah, I do. I have to call bullshit on that.
It's nice having a charged soundboard again.
I know, right? It is his fault. He's getting paid a lot of money. He's not bad at his job.
No, I like Weber on the call.
Job.
I'll take Weber over Reggie Miller any day of the week.
Absolutely. He's got great insight. He's easy to listen to. He's got a nice voice. That just says he's lazy, and that bothers me for somebody that dabbles in closely the same profession. And I don't ever call myself a professional. I'm just doing this for fun. He's got to get that right.
You do.
He's got to get that. I mean, there's just no excuse for it.
Yeah, I don't get it. But you know what? He's getting paid the big bucks. And if was it on TNT? If TNT or ESPN, whoever it was, decides to let that slide, then that's on them.
Right.
So yeah, part of it is off of Weber's shoulders, because if his job is to call the game. It's not his job to look down and go, God, I don't know that sounds right. Like, let me take a break and go ask somebody. Like, there are producers that are literally listening to every single syllable that's coming out of all those guys' mouths. And if there's an incorrection, it's their job to chime in during a break or during a commercial or during, whatever it might be. If they're going to Susie Colbert on the sidelines or whoever the hell, their sideline reporter may be, and go, hey, Chris, just so you know, it's not Bujanovic, it's Smith. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the producer's job to fix that.
It is.
And so, yeah, I don't put all of it on Weber, but at the same time,
90% of it's on Weber.
There's not a fucking Y or an H.
Well, Weber was trying to be cool. He was trying to be cool. And trying to pronounce it like he sounded intelligent.
Well, he didn't want to stumble through it because he didn't want to be like
It's not an easy name to say.
It's not, and he picked one that to him sounded right. He went with it, and no one corrected him, which means it must be good.
Right.
And so yeah, I mean, instead of guessing, he probably should have went to someone and just said, hey. You know what? He has the phone number of damn near everyone in the Kings organization because they're all former players that got hired by Vivek, right? I mean, he could have texted Vlade or Peja real quick and just said, hey, you know what? How do you pronounce, this name? And just type it out.
And it'd be easy. If you see it phonetically, it's not that hard.
Bogdanovich. You split the D and the G and the N and the V. Bogdanovich.
Yeah.
And you can even take out the G, Bogdanovich. Or I guess you don't. It's still in there, even if you try not to pronounce the G. Once you learned it, it rolls off your tongue.
Right.
Just call him Bogey.
Yeah, right?
Bogey for 3. Everyone's a one damn name person in the NBA these days.
Absolutely.
Just go with something that doesn't make you look like an idiot. But it just goes to show that Kings fans are so hell-bent on bitching about something that becomes the topic of 2 out of the 3 groups that I follow on Facebook. It was like 15 threads of it. And so I'm an admin in the Goon Squad, Sacramento Kings Goon Squad, the Facebook group that we have.
Uh-huh.
And we make it a point, we being Derek Reed and Greg Douglas, who's our other admins, we make it a point that when the draft comes up, when free agency starts, when the playoffs start, hell, even during games when the Kings are winning games, we haven't been doing it this year because there's really no point.
They're winning games.
We create a draft thread a free agency thread, a game thread, and all of the conversation for those topics go into that thread.
Right.
There's not 700, oh my God, bogey for 3, look at that dunk. It goes in one area. And all these other groups, they don't do that. And I get it. Admins of these groups, they're not paid to do this. They're doing it for fun. Like, it's on their social medias. But the fact that you get 700 people posting the same shit, and sometimes it's the same person posting the same shit multiple times. And it's, yeah, so it's like, I get it. Like, Kings fans want to bitch about stuff, but you gotta let it go. You know what I mean? Like, move on to something that's more important than that.
There's more than enough stuff to bitch about this team.
Absolutely. Make a Sacramento Kings bitch thread.
Right.
And that thing will blow the internet up. But props to Bogdanovich. He did win MVP. He had a hell of a game. Buddy Hield looked really good as well. De'Aaron Fox, not so much, which I'm okay with. I didn't want Fox going crazy. If you saw that Houston game where he took that fall and busted his chin and eyebrow up, I didn't want him out there in the first place. But you're not going to tell a rookie to go out there and not play, especially after you get added as an injury replacement. Right. But he, it looked good. It was nice finally seeing the Kings represented on the floor All-Star Weekend and actually do something. Because, let's face it, Cousins did a lot. Cousins being in the All-Star game was a big deal. But the first year he played a little bit, and he actually played really well in the minutes he played. But that year it was just absolutely stacked with players and bigs, and he didn't play because that was the year that they did there was a front court and the back court. There wasn't designated players, so there was like 15 centers in the West. And he was the commissioner pick that year, and then he made it the next year, and obviously he got traded, so he only played half the year or half the game. So it was nice seeing the Kings on a different.
He played like 2 minutes. Yeah,
half the first part of the first quarter. So it was nice to see the Kings represented. I would have liked to see Hield in the 3-point contest instead of the skills challenge.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see Vince Carter in the dunk contest. I thought that would have been a cool send-off because at 41 years old, Vince Carter can still hop. And he can still dunk. And I think he would have been more innovative than these young kids are right now.
The dunk contest lost something for me years ago. There's only so many things you can do. There's not an infinite number of things that you can do on a dunk.
I can tell you the exact moment that the dunk contest died for me.
Jump the shark?
No, it died. Like, fell into the shark and was chewed up.
You know what jump the shark means?
No. I don't care. But, like I said, the dunk contest fell off the boat into the shark's mouth and got chewed up for me was when Dwight Howard, his Superman dunk where he threw the ball through the hoop.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone lost their shit and gave him a perfect score, and he won the contest. It wasn't a dunk.
It was the throw, yeah.
It was a throw. And at that point, that lost credibility to me because they ran out of ways to critique. They ran out of formats that work. Give a guy 2 attempts at a dunk. You don't get 3 minutes or whatever the hell they're giving him now. Get out there, make your dunk, move on.
Every time you miss, you lose a half a point.
Yeah, or you get 2 chances. That's it. Like there should be no reason that the dunk contest takes longer than the skills or the 3-point contest. There's 8 guys dunking a basketball. There's not 30 shots each guy has to take. There's not 2 lanes of the court these guys have to take. It should not be. That is the longest thing. The dunk contest almost was longer than the celebrity game this year.
Wow.
Because they don't know how to format it to keep people excited. No one goes.
The only thing I like the 3-point shooting contest is that's pure. There's really not much you can do, and it's always fun to watch that, and guys take it pretty seriously. But the other made-up things, they had a 3-on-3 with a celebrity and a
that one I
WNBA.
didn't mind because it kind of brought the WNBA into the fold, like trying to keep that relevant, and that was kind of cool seeing the older players. But what I don't like about the dunk contest, and TJ just hit the nail on the head. Blake Griffin jumping over the car was when it soured for me. It told me it was fixed right away. That for sure was one of the weird ones. But the other one is the judges. They don't want to be there. If you ever look at the contest, you see
Dr. J's there every year.
And he is bored out of his fucking mind.
Oh, and the other thing is, the other judge that I saw, DJ Khaled. Is DJ Khaled not anywhere? Is he?
He's everywhere.
And I'm sorry.
He's on TV. And another one. He's on a show and another one. That's all he is. He's everywhere.
What did he? Who the fuck is he?
He's a good beat maker. He's a good producer in the style of music. But there's a meme that's out, and it solidifies exactly what DJ Khaled is. It's a picture of DJ Khaled on the phone. It says, "Hey, that's a dope ass beat you created. Mind if I scream my name on it?" That's all it is. Like, it's to the point now where in the background you hear DJ Khaled like in the background on every goddamn song, and now he's on everything. Why was he in the 3-point like in the Craig Sager? Remember a couple years ago when Craig Sager passed away? They did the let's make 33s or whatever it was, or 3 half-court shots. We'll donate like $100,000. His fat ass was out there shooting jumpers. I thought he was gonna have a heart attack. Yeah, I'm over the NBA All-Star Weekend. If the Kings get it, if Sacramento gets it, maybe that'll bring life back to it because seeing parts of it would be cool. I don't know that I would buy tickets for it.
No.
But just seeing it in our hometown, seeing your court personified.
Well, and
it brings excitement to it.
And I think financially it would be a boon to the city. And it's something that all those guys that said, don't build the arena, now we're on a worldwide stage. And people are looking.
They'll still bitch. Oh, I wanted to go to Subway right by the arena and I couldn't because it was blocked off by the caravan lane that I can't go down anymore. But one last thing, Scott Freshour, our beloved MC of the Sacramento Kings, was actually the host of the dunk contest and the celebrity game, I believe. Mm-hmm. So congrats to Fresh, who arguably I've watched a lot of like not Facebook, but in-house streams via my Fire Stick for NBA games. So you get the in-house personalities on those streams. Fresh is above the world when it comes to the way that Kings games are ran. The whole production crew at King Games are amazing.
Yeah, and we have it lucky with Scott Moak here, who's just the best. And I've been to probably 10 NBA games in other cities. By far the best announcer.
They're terrible.
They are. Listening to people on TV, the guy in Detroit.
When they did the Blake Griffin one, did you hear boring?
Yeah. So we're lucky here. We have a shitty team, but we have a great production staff.
We do. We have a great mascot.
In fact, I think what I was told is a lot of the Kings production staff went down and is doing the All-Star thing. I think their production director is producing the game, and Fresh Hour's going, and a couple other people are going too. So the NBA realizes how good this production staff is.
Unfortunately, they can't translate that to being good on the basketball court where it matters.
Nope.
I keep losing my headphones. Come on, headphones. There we go. Let's do this. Well, that killed 30 minutes.
That was a good 30 minutes.
That was good.
Yeah. 30 minutes of talking about nothing.
We'll talk baseball now. Before we leave it, I'll have Sheena take headshots of us for that Giants thing. Yeah. All right, let's talk baseball. We're gonna talk San Francisco Giants stuff here, but first, Tim Lincecum had his showcase, trying to get back into baseball at the age of 33. And first of all, if you haven't seen a picture of Tim Lincecum recently, go Google that shit. He carved himself out of stone. That little motherfucker is ripped beyond belief.
Is he really?
If you haven't seen that, I'll find it real quick. I have a picture of it. Or I can get the picture of it. He is ridiculous. But Lincecum had a showcase. He threw for about 25 or so teams. And by all accounts, they said his curveball was snapping off at the break. His TJ, we're going to get to that in a second. Gregor, we're going to get to that in a second too. He threw for scouts, like I said. He was throwing at around 92 to 93. Sorry, there was 20 scouts. 92 to 93 miles per hour on the fastball, which is up considerably from what he was at before.
He was at, I think, 88 or 89.
Yeah, when he was with the Angels. 20 teams. The Yankees were one of them. The Yankees have since bowed out. They said they're not going to be signing Lincecum. The Giants, however, are interested, depending on what the bidding war turns into, if there is a bidding war at all, for Timmy. Now, it says if it makes sense for the club. The only issue with that, and TJ just alluded to it a little bit here in the chat box, is they needed to. Yeah, Mike, his hair is gone as well. They needed to make sure that it meant it was smart for the business. Now, they just signed Tony Watson. We're going to get to that here in a second, which keeps them under their luxury cap, and the competitive tax. That doesn't mean they can't bring him in on a minor league deal and then promote him with incentive-based or expandable contract pay and bring him into the system. So, my question to you is, first of all, here's Lincecum like a month ago.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like I said, he beefed up like a mother.
He looks like my nephew Ryan.
Well, can your nephew Ryan throw a 93-mile-per-hour fastball? Do you bring in Lincecum if, as a mid-reliever or as a fifth starter?
If he can throw 93 and control it, yeah, absolutely. He's got the experience. He knows how to pitch. He's been through the ups and downs. And
obviously he's taking it seriously with the shape that he's in.
He's going to want to do it. Yeah, I have him come in and throw 3 or 4 innings every couple of days.
And then you have him as like a backup fifth or sixth starter.
Yeah, emergency starter if you need him. And the other thing is, he's proven that it doesn't take him a long time to warm up.
No.
So all of a sudden you get into a situation where you need somebody to come in and throw a couple of strikes, and you don't have anybody ready to go. You get him up there, he throws about 6 pitches in the bullpen, comes out, and he's ready to go.
Yep, rip-roaring, ready to go. So, yeah, I'm all for it if they can bring him in. Like I said, it made sense. They said they would look into it if it made sense for business reasons and salary cap reasons. This was about a day or so before or right after the Giants went out and signed Tony Watson, left-handed reliever. He was with the Pirates, and then last season he was with the Dodgers through the World Series. And Watson is a big lefty. He throws a really good fastball. He converted. So midway through the year last year, his fastball was getting tattooed, and his home run and walk ratio went through the roof. He got traded to the Dodgers, and he started relying heavily on his sinker. Mm-hmm. And his sinker ended up becoming like an unhittable pitch for him coming out of the bullpen. So the Giants go out, and they only had about $2 million left in the cap before they hit their luxury tax. And I don't know if it was Evans or if it was Sabian, because you mentioned here that Sabian may be looking to take back over the GM role. They structured his deal with not incentive pay, but escalators that allowed them to sign him under that threshold and convince him that last year he made $7 million to come in and make only $2 million this year. Now, he's going to
Where did he pitch last year?
The Dodgers.
Okay.
He is going to be something that's extremely important for the Giants. Basically, he's going to be that lefty-on-lefty guy. Since Javier Lopez left, the Giants haven't had that ace in the hole.
Right.
And with Will Smith coming back, that's another big lefty. Yeah. You combine both of those with Mark Melancon, who you have to imagine is going to have a comeback year. Yeah. There's no way Melancon goes from being the best closer in baseball to arguably the worst closer in baseball in an offseason. So that bolsters the back of this Giants bullpen.
And then the guy that they picked up last year to replace Melancon when he was hurt.
Yes, from the Rangers. Can't think of what his name was. Starts with S.
Yeah.
He's going to be back there too. Dyson. Sorry, not even an S. He probably has an S in his middle name. So you have all that going on for you. I beat TJ too. Yes. You have all that going on, and like I said, the Giants signed him to escalators, so he makes like $1.2 million this year. If he hits a certain benchmark in the season, then his pay next year goes up by like $1 million, and then it could go up again should he choose his player option in the third year. Then that player option automatically includes guaranteed money, so that he's basically making it up on the back end from the front end that he didn't have to pay.
That's cool.
And what I said in my notes before the show was I wanted to give Bobby Evans credit. Now, what you're about to tell me maybe Brian Sabian. So I'm going to refrain from that a little bit.
This sounds more Brian Sabian.
And I'm going to call it giving the Giants general manager's office credit because the Giants have been in the luxury tax for the last 2 seasons. And under the new CBA, Major League Baseball basically put escalators on the luxury tax. It goes 12% penalty, 24% penalty, 50% penalty, and continues to go up from there. However, so the Giants already had it 2 years in a row, which means if they go over the luxury tax this year, which may impact Tim Lincecum signing, that they would be paying a 50% penalty on the tax, which they don't want to do because next season you have guys like Bryce Harper, who the Giants are rumored to already be planning to make a run at. Manny Machado, which I don't think they'll make a move for, considering the fact that they just got Evan Longoria.
Right.
And a couple other really big-name free agents that are going to hit the market. By the Giants staying under that luxury tax threshold for this season, that penalty resets back to 0 next year.
Oh, really?
So if they spend the whole year this year under, which it looks like they're going to do now based on this move with Watson, the Giants now have the ability to go back over the threshold next season and only pay like a 12% penalty. Whereas the Dodgers are over again. They're in the 50% range this year, and it continues to go up, which may in turn eliminate some of that desire for the Dodgers to go out and just throw a truckload of money at people.
Right.
Because 50%, if it goes up to 55 or 60% next year, because the cap's going up, they're saying that the threshold cap's going to go up to like $209 million next season. The Dodgers right now are at 277. So they're not going to even get close to it, even with the escalator. So we have a really good chance that the Giants could be in the mix for a lot of potential players with a lot of money to spend because they're going to be back under the threshold. So,
well, and the other thing it also affects is draft picks.
Yep.
Which are becoming more and more of a
value.
Yeah, value, and something that the teams are all looking at and really counting on. And it also affects your ability to sign international players too.
Yep.
So, and again, something else that the teams are looking at. So I heard this the other day on CamBR, so I went to cambr.com, and this is what I got. Since getting promoted from general manager to executive VP of baseball operations, Sabian hasn't been involved in the day-to-day operations of the major league club since 2015. That's going to change this season, according to a report from Andrew Baggerly, who writes that Sabian will resume a more hands-on role with the club after the team's atrocious 98-loss seasons. This is not a demotion of Bobby Evans, who will remain as team's general manager. The decision to tweak Sabian's role is reportedly coming from the Giants CEO Larry Baer, who wants Sabian closer to the team after the team has slowly regressed since his promotion. So, Bobby Evans is still going to be your general manager. He's still going to be the one that is the face of the franchise. Sabian is going to come in and be the brains. He's going to be behind. And this deal, that screams Sabian. That's a Sabian deal.
And if it wasn't a Sabian deal, and
Bobby Evans got smart
and Bobby Evans figured that one out on his own, then hey, kudos to you, Bobby Evans, because that's a hell of a deal.
Right.
On the flip side of that, the Padres decided to spend some money. The biggest contract in Padres history was dealt out yesterday.
Right.
To Eric Hosmer, first baseman. 8 years.
That's what blew me away right there.
$144 million with an opt-out clause at the 5th year.
Wow.
Now, I like Eric Hosmer. I wanted the Giants to try to make a run at him and maybe move Brandon Belt to left field or get rid of Brandon Belt. If the Giants would have went out and threw an 8-year deal at Hosmer, I shit myself.
Oh,
and not in a good way where I'm excited and I'm like elated. No. So I think that's crazy. I think it's good that we're finally starting to see some of the bigger guys, come off the market. It's going to at least build baseball up a little bit because can you imagine if like Hosmer and Dyson and Moustakas and some of those guys weren't signed, like
JD Martinez.
Yeah, who still is not signed. It'd be crazy. One more thing I forgot to mention on the Giants. Again, I don't know if this is Bobby Evans or not. We'll call it the GM office again. The Giants are looking to reset their cap, their luxury tax. and go into the market for some of these big guys, or maybe even not in the big guys. Let everyone else throw billions of dollars at the big guys and go out and get the level 2 guys.
Right.
The Giants next season, with their current roster, can you tell me how many players next season come off the books as free agents?
No, I can't.
There's 3.
Jesus.
I'm going to pull it back up.
I think I know who they are, though, too.
Who are they?
Buster, Crawford.
Nope. No. The Giants are losing next year for free agency.
Oh, no, I can't.
I have it here. Hold on. I want to make sure I have it right. It's Andrew McCutchen.
Okay, we knew that.
Hunter Pence.
Okay.
Oh, and Nick Hundley. Those are the only 3 players as of right now that the Giants have on this roster
that aren't signed for next year.
Wow. Everyone else is under contract for next season, which means the Giants don't have to go out and spend a ton of their own money on arbitration. They don't have to go out and spend a bunch of their money to lock their guys in. Can you imagine if Posey or Crawford or Bum or any of those guys were on the verge of leaving? You don't sign anybody else. You throw all your money at those guys.
Right. Which is nice because with McCutchen, if he's gone, if he doesn't want to stay, okay, we go after Bryce Harper.
Well, not only that. Well, yeah, you go after Harper, but you also have TJ drawing a blank, middle center fielder for the River Cats right now. He's going to get his call up. Stephen Duggard.
Yeah.
I'm beating TJ again.
You are. Man.
Duggar is waiting in the wings in the winds to come up and play for the Giants as well. So you may have that next long-term center fielder, the homegrown guy, right there already.
Right.
And you put Harper in. You put Harper in right. You put Duggar in center, and then you replace Pence in left. Like, you don't have to necessarily, because you're replacing McCutchen right with Harper or someone else. So the Giants are in a really good position to continue. Mike says, which baseball teams are near the cap and or possibly over? A lot of them.
Yeah.
I think there's less teams that are under the cap than there are that are over the cap right now. So there's TJ says, sorry about that. I'm also watching Flyers and Rangers. There are fights galore. I love it.
Oh, cool.
Awesome. That's the best part about hockey for sure.
New York Rangers.
Right. Let's see here.
What else we got?
That's pretty much what I had. Have you watched any of the Olympics?
A little bit. I like the Olympics. So.
I do too, except the U.S. is getting murdered if you go strictly by medal counts. We can't perform for shit.
And if it wasn't for all the X Games, we'd really suck.
Yeah, the X Gamers that are killing it on like freestyle and half pipe and whatnot.
Did you hear about the guy from KMBR who got fired the other day for calling the girl that won the snowboard, which is that girl Kim from, called her a nice piece of ass. She's 17.
Oh,
yeah.
Hello. Hold on, Bar Mom said something. Are the A's well below the cap, or are they well over the cap as it stands right now, Mike?
The A's are barely above the floor.
Mike, if you're watching the Facebook live feed, let me move over. So here is, we'll call this. It's backwards. So hold on. Don't know how that is. Here is the cap, right here. Actually, let's do it like this. See this the 4-0 sign right here above my head? We'll call that, or above Greg's head, we'll call that the cap. This sign over here, the edge of the Spartan or the sports sign, that's the floor. The Capitol building, right? There is where the A's should be. They're like over here.
They're on the other side of Greg's head.
Yeah, they're off the cap. They're like on River Cats level.
They're like way over there.
Yeah, the A's don't sign anybody. They don't pay anybody. And all of their players that make money are on other teams because they refuse to pay people. So the A's, you don't have to worry about going over the cap at all.
No.
Anyways, Olympics. So let me ask you the question. If if someone came to... First of all, I was watching curling last night. It's kind of interesting. I'm not going to lie. I was like, damn, I'm actually watching... It was USA versus Japan. I don't know who ended up winning. I fell asleep. But it was actually pretty interesting. Exciting. Yeah, it was, but it was just late. If someone came to you and said, Greg Verosa, I have a envelope right now with, let's say, $1 million cash in it, crisp $100 bills, and a letter, yeah, right? And it's a manila envelope. It's like a folder. And a letter from the U.S. Treasury that certifies it all to be real money, not just all fake money.
Right.
That says you have to go and participate in the skeleton.
Oh.
One run down the skeleton chute. Do you do?
Oh. It would be fun, but oh my fucking god!
Risk versus reward.
Just shooting yourself out of a cannon, going head first, and your head's the bullet.
I think it would be less scary. I think it would be less scary if you were shot out of a cannon, because you have to run and start the sled, right? You're the one that's determining how fast you get going from the start. If it was predetermined and everyone started out at 50 miles per hour, that's one thing. But if you're just like pumped up, and let's say you take some like pre-workout and some coffee and you're fucking rip-roaring ready to go, and you're like, fucking woo! And you start running, and you lay down and you're like, fuck, I ran way too fast for this. I was watching the girls last night, and about halfway down the chute, they were surpassing like 74 miles per hour, head first down an ice chute. I can't imagine what the guys are doing. They weigh so much more.
Oh, I know.
The guys were hitting close to 90 from what I read.
So I watched a little bit of it, and they had a shot from way back on one of the turns that showed you basically them coming into the turn and them coming out of the turn. And it literally was a blink of an eye. And it had to have been 100 feet. I mean, they were going so fast. It's crazy. And they're wearing basically Speedos.
Right. Well, it just, yeah, like a little latex suit. They look like little sperm heading down the chute. And what's funny is a lot of them wear like a amber colored mask on their helmet, so you can see their eyes, and they're like, oh, like going down this thing. You turn by flexing your core and your butt, so they're puckered to the extreme, turning those sleds. And what's funny is they cross the finish line. And how do they stop? They lean forward. They dig forward with the sled to put the downforce in the front. And then they just drag their toes on the sides of the chute on the wall to slow down. And then there's like a cheap Walmart memory foam mattress at the end that just they slide into.
It was all wadded up.
Yeah.
That would be the funnest part of the whole thing.
But the thing is, that's only like 5 feet long. And then there's more ice chute. Like, what happens if you don't slow down enough and you blow through that, or you fall off and you go just free sliding down that bitch? You think a little memory foam's gonna stop you? Those motherfuckers are the craziest sons of bitches in the Olympics.
Oh yeah, and then the other ones that I like, and I don't know what it is. Is it snowboard cross or something like that? Basically, it's 6 guys on snowboards, and they go down this course. And it's basically NASCAR on snow. And they're crashing, and they're going over jumps, and they're taking people out. And it's pretty cool.
It's crazy. Like, I like those ones. Like, I can't snowboard. I can't do shit. But I watch those guys, and I'm like, damn. Like, I thought the bobsled was cool. Like, yeah, they get going pretty damn fast, and that's a pretty cool thing. And, unfortunately, we had one person die last year. Was it last year? Or the last Olympics?
Right.
So that's cool, but you do that and you're like, fuck, those skeletons, and usually what's the old term, like, his balls are huge. The girls are, I think that it's more impressive that the girls are heading down the chute than the dudes. Historically, guys do stupid shit, right? Like, we're known to be the idiots that are like, oh, hey, that looks dangerous, I'm gonna fucking do it. Women are usually a little bit more, like, right-minded. They kind of play it out a little bit in their brain, like, maybe we shouldn't do this. Like, they're a little bit more calculated. the fact that those chicks are just like, let's go, going head first.
So who's more crazy though? The guys who do the skeleton and go down head first, or the guys who do luge and go down feet first, and you can't see where you're going because they're looking straight up.
No, they're looking down. They have their chin pinned as fast as they can, and they're looking down. But
I don't know.
I would much rather go down feet first.
I don't know.
1,000 times.
I don't even go down foot first.
Well, foot first, yeah. I would go down feet first 1,000 times before I go down head first. Simply for the fact that if I go down, if you're going down head first, right? You have your toes to dig in to try to slow you, and you have your hands to push out in front of you to try to stop. If that doesn't work, you're going neck first into the memory foam or the wall or whatever it might be if you fall off your sled. If you fall off the luge, you go down feet first, you can dig your heels in, you can dig your elbows in.
You destroy your ankles if you dug your feet in?
Would you rather break your leg or break your neck?
Well, since I only have one leg, well, it's kind of even because I got one leg, one neck. But
okay, so if your doctor came up to you in April of last year and said, "Hey, Greg,
we're going to amputate your leg or your neck.
Your diabetes is really this thing is really happening because of all the infections and whatnot you had." We have two options: your foot that has the infection we can take off, or we could take off half of your neck because that's where the gland is that's causing this. I'm pretty sure you're taking your foot.
Taking my foot. Yeah.
So I think the skeleton guys are way crazier. And then, I don't know, it's just, USA needs to go to these colder countries, colder states, and start recruiting. There's people, one of the skiers that they were talking about yesterday, the freestyle, the half-pipe skiers, it was two Americans that were in it. One of them was from Tahoe, which is, obviously that's one of the premier places in California. The other girl that was in competition was from Carmel. I'm like, is there a Carmel in the Sierras that I don't know about? Because last time I checked, Carmel's down by Monterey.
There's Carmel, Indiana.
Right, but they were talking about her as in she was part of Northern California, like up in this.
Really?
The girl from Tahoe would go to North Star and do all her training there, and the girl from Carmel was going to Sierra Tahoe. And she's like, yeah, I do all my training at Sierra, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Carmel? Is there one in Tahoe that we don't know? Is it like a little subsect of like Carson, like Tahoe City? Because maybe a neighborhood is named Carmel.
Carmel by the lake.
Right, maybe there's maybe it's Caramel, like it's a little candy shop that like has its own little district. But I'm like, this girl, TJ, those Carmel slopes are no joke. Is she making like a half pipe out of sand down in Monterey and she's like practicing? That blew my mind. I'm like, why are girls or why are people in general from like the ocean cities kicking so much ass in snowboarding when there's like three people from Tahoe, like for California? Like it's all New Jersey, New York, Colorado, and then Carmel, California. I'm like, where are these people coming from? I just thought that was crazy. Like they need to go out and recruit.
Yeah.
Our hockey teams are getting their asses handed to them, and they use amateur, right? They use college and below for U.S. hockey.
There's guys that play in the AHL.
Okay, but no NHL players, right?
No NHL players.
The NBA is one of the only teams. The NBA is the only professional level sport that funnels players into the Olympics.
This is the first year. This is the first year in about 6 Olympics that NHL players haven't played. So up until this last time,
I remember last time they had
they take a 2-week break.
Yeah, they had the NBA stoppage or the NHL stoppage. Yeah,
they take 2 weeks off and let the guys go and play in the Olympics. I think a lot of people want to get it back to where it was in 1980 when the college kids went back and beat the Russians. It's never going to happen. So it's really a shame because you don't get to see the best hockey players in the world play.
Right.
I really wish they would have taken the 2 weeks because who cares about the NHL? It's really not that big of a deal.
The NHL, as we have one of our people watching the NHL as he listens to us, really the NHL is exciting during the playoffs, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
and I would think that the NHL would want as much publicity as they could possibly get going into the playoffs are starting pretty soon. Maybe it was because it's too close to the playoffs. Just take 2 weeks off now would hurt the teams. I don't know, but I would think that they would want the publicity. They would want people talking about them. They would want people. Hell, if the United States wins a gold medal in hockey, that is the number one highlight of the entire games. Period. It's not the dude in spandex and sparkles and wearing makeup that wins the ice skating competition. It's the hockey players. They would be the number one subject. So you're talking about hockey, and you use that to build on for your playoff run. A big mistake. I think it's a big mistake by the NHL. I think they blew it on this one, and I'm hoping that the next time they go around, they'll get smart again and let their pros take a little bit of time off it and play the hockey game. Just as long as they don't do it like they do the fucking all-star game, like 3-on-3 and multiple games. No, just play hockey. That's all I got.
What the fuck? So, let's talk football for a second. So, the Niners obviously are in a good position to sign everybody. Jordy Nelson is looking like he's going to be released by the Packers. Could be an interesting option for the 49ers.
Yeah.
But what I'm reading right here is Kirk Cousins and his agent are preparing, even though it hasn't happened yet, they're preparing a grievance with the NFL because there's reports coming out that the Redskins may still end up franchise tagging him for the third time, even though they just traded for Alex Smith, and not let him hit the open market in hopes to get compensation for him leaving. Now, it's petty because the rule of the franchise tag is it's supposed to be to protect a player you intend on keeping. And obviously the Redskins have no intention on keeping Kirk Cousins with the deal for Alex Smith. Yet, would it surprise you if Dan Snyder decided to be the petty little asshole he is and franchise tag him?
No.
Because here's the deal. What they're going to do is, even if it requires it to go to grievance, the grievance process takes a little bit of time. So if free agency opens, they tag him, and he has to go through the grievance process. Other teams may go out and spend more money on other players. NFL free agency is such a short window. It's not like baseball. You're not going to have a guy like Eric Hosmer in the NFL sign, 2 months after winter meetings started and spring training already kicked off? Like, you sign your players early. So it would not surprise me at all if Dan Snyder's punk ass went out and went, we're going to tag him for a third time, make him file a grievance, delay him, and make him get less money next season.
And we don't have to reset next season.
No, we have 3-hour windows now. I just saw that, though. That kind of blew my mind a little bit, that they would be that vindictive.
Yeah. And maybe they're going to, I don't know, sign and trade him. I don't know anybody.
That wouldn't be a franchise tag, though. That would be a sign and trade deal. That would be a little bit different.
I wouldn't put anything past Snyder. He's a little weasel.
Oh, without a doubt he is. Let's see here. Let's see this story here. I'm just kind of doing like a round robin here through some of the... I know you got to get to your NASCAR party, so we won't hold you up too long.
I got food with
Johnny Cueto came out during spring training and said that he feels in his heart that right now the Giants have a lineup that could be World Series contenders. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. The Giants' problems last year weren't lack of talent.
It was injury.
It was injury. So it's all going to be on them staying healthy, which is really hard to predict, obviously. And I'm not real confident they can, but if they can stay healthy, it was the same group of guys that won 2 out of the 3 World Series.
Right.
So there's no reason why they can't be competitive. As long as they stay healthy. I mean, they just got killed. It started with Mad Bum and just kind of snowballed.
Right, for sure. Bumgarner came out with his first press day and basically said his shoulder's never been better. Taking the time off, being shut down at the end of the year last year to finish the rehab and get it stronger has helped. His velocity is the highest it's ever been at the start of spring. His curveball is the snappiest it's been at the start of spring. To me, Major League Baseball batters should be a little bit on notice if that truly is the case. Cueto has slimmed down. I saw a video the other day from spring training of And by the way, we're back on baseball, in case you haven't noticed. I saw a video the other day of Longoria and Crawford at taking ground balls at short and third, and Belt and Pablo Sandoval taking grounders at first.
How did Sandoval look?
He looks a little bit thinner. He doesn't look as big as he was last year. He does definitely look slimmed down. He looked quick on his feet. But Bumgarner looks like he hit the weights this offseason as well, which is a scary thought that Bumgarner got bigger. But the Giants staff is looking good. Posey looks good. Hundley came in shape. Hunter Pence is always in shape. McCutchen looks like he hit the weights this offseason as well. It's going to be interesting, to say the least, how the Giants keep up with the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. I still don't think the Padres are going to be that big of a problem, even with Hosmer and the other moves they've made. I just think that they're still on the slippery uphill. JD Martinez leaving Arizona, if they don't end up finding a way to re-sign him, I think is going to be a huge blow to that team. And really, it comes down to the Dodgers. If the Dodgers are going to be the same team they were last year. Let's see, Barn Bomb. Free agency in the NFL and the NBA are crazy. It's always a huge media frenzy and creates social media conversations amongst fans and folks in the traditional medias. Baseball free agency, much like the Major League Baseball amateur draft, is a dud. Sorry, but that's what I think based upon what I observed. In the past, Mike, I would say you're absolutely wrong. NBA free agency, to me, is one of the most boring, simply for the 7-day moratorium period. I think that ruins free agency because you get all excited and then they agree in principle and then you have to wait. And then shit like DeAndre Jordan happens last year where he agrees in principle with Dallas and then
gets locked in
has 7 days, gets locked in a hotel room and ends up staying with the Clippers. Remove that. It's dumb. NFL free agency, I think, is one of the most exciting simply for the fact that when big names hit the market, they hit the market all at the same time, and it makes it a lot more fun. And Major League Baseball, aside from this year, is probably the most exciting simply for the fact that it's rare that one player on a roster as big as the Major League Baseball roster can be as impactful as one player on other teams. Like in football, you sign a big wide receiver or a big quarterback, you get better, but it's still a team atmosphere. Like the baseball one, when they sign a big guy, like next year when Bryce Harper hits the market, it is going to be absolutely insane for two reasons. One, Harper automatically makes your offense one of the best in baseball. It's an individual thing because when you're in baseball, it's the only person that matters at that moment in the game. You sign LeBron James, your team gets better, but he's not the only player on the field. When you're at bat, you're the only player on the field. It's a one-on-one matchup. Well, I guess the NBA is mostly one-on-one matchups too because everyone hogs the ball.
Absolutely.
But baseball is more exciting simply on the sheer magnitude of how much money gets thrown around. Bryce Harper next year is going to sign a $500 million deal. And that's going to be the base of his pay. I could see a bidding war getting him closer to $550 or more million over a 10-year deal next year. It's going to be absolutely ludicrous how much money these teams are willing to throw around for one person.
Do you think, so we've talked about the Giants going after him. Do you think it's worth it putting that much money into one player?
Yes. He's a rare breed of player.
He's a little bit of a problem in the clubhouse. He's got an attitude. He's a diva. Can you imagine if he's got a $500 million contract behind him, what kind of diva he's going to be?
I think that Bryce Harper has heard enough over his career of him not being as valuable as people perceive and him not being that franchise player. Like, he's heard so much criticism over his whole course of his career. I think, honestly, he's one of the few players that can get that money, and he's going to look at this as an opportunity to prove everybody wrong. I just got $500 million. I'm going to prove to you that I'm the best baseball player to earn that money, and here's the reason why. There's a lot of players that get that money, and they're like, sweet, I'm disappearing. I'm just going to go ahead.
Well, the thing that worries me is...
TJ says, can him and Hunter Strickland coexist?
Hunter Strickland won't be around.
Yeah, Strickland. I don't think Strickland's around after next season.
I don't think so either.
And let me ask you this. TJ will ask you this, and I'll ask Greg the same thing. If Harper comes in, let's say Harper comes to the table and like, hey, I'm willing to sign a 10-year, $500 million deal. I want to play for the Giants. I want to follow in Barry Bonds' footsteps. I want to chase history in the orange and black. But I'm not signing here unless you guys cut Hunter Strickland right now. The second he says, if you guys... Let me rephrase that. Let me do this. Let's say... So I'm going to show you how important this is going to be. Let's say the Giants next season re-sign Hunter Pence to a 1-year deal. Okay? And...
Hunter Pence or Hunter Strickland?
Hunter Pence. Because Strickland's still under a 1-year deal at that point. So Hunter Pence and Hunter Strickland are both under a 1-year deal. They get on the phone with Bryce Harper. He says, hey, look, I'm ready. He's like, hey, guys, just so you know, I'm driving right now. If I break up, I'm sorry. We'll talk. I'm only going to talk to you guys for the next half an hour. You guys have my window. And he says, I'm willing. The Giants are like, savings like, hey, man, I'll give you 10 years, $500 million with a opt-out in the 7th year, let's say. And he's like, oh, that sounds good. He's like, but I'm not going to play on this team unless you guys cut Hunter. And it's like, his phone cuts out or he hits a little patch of thing. I guarantee you, Hunter Pence and Hunter Strickland are both cut right then and there. So because they don't know what Hunter they're talking about. They're like,
let's role play this.
Done.
Let's role play this, okay? So I'm Sabian. I'm going to give you $500 million for 10 years.
Okay.
We'd love to have you a part of the team. We want you to be the new Barry Bonds. Take his name out of the record books. What's it going to take for you to sign that?
I don't want Hunter on this team.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Pence, Strickland, fuck you. You're going.
Right. I don't. And he's like, no.
Okay. So like, what else? What else?
He's like, did you just cut Pence? I meant Strickland. Doesn't matter. You said Hunter.
Yeah.
Like, we're just gonna make sure. Like, you do it at that point. Like, if you're already willing to throw that type of money around, and he's like, I want to wear number 25 and number 24 whenever I want. You're like, well, we just retired Bonds' jersey last season, so that one's not hard to erase. Willie might need like $10 million. You know, we'll go ahead and give it to him. Don't worry about it. So you're going to get $510 million essentially.
And then we'll let you wear 44 for spring training.
44 for spring training, and you can. We'll carry you to the batter's box every single time you bat. So yeah, there you go. We're going to sign your ass. So yeah, I mean, a player at his magnitude, you bend over backwards for, especially if he wants to sign with your franchise, and it's not simply a money. I mean, it's going to be a money grab. I mean, he's going to get that type of money, but it's going to be exciting. One final thing before we go, just give you guys a little bit of a heads up. It's not official, but Veroza and I are in the process of applying for Major League Baseball credentialing. Yeah. So that will allow us to apply for game day, per game credentials for the Giants, for the A's, or essentially for any Major League Baseball team out there. Oh boy, here we go.
I see Greg Veroza.
Greg Veroza, why not? Let's cut all the Giants, not just Strickland and Pence. Send them along with Bryce Harper to me in Oakland.
Yeah, Mike.
He would leave after a year, Mike, because the A's would be like, oh, you know, that's too much money. Shit, you can't afford him.
Mike, the A's haven't spent $500 million in payroll in the last 20 years. Why would they do it for one player?
The A's won't spend $500 million on a stadium.
No.
Or a parking lot. Or fixing the fucking plumbing at the Coliseum.
Yeah, no.
What makes you think they're going to spend any money on anybody? And earlier he said, I think there's going to be a culture change. See if I can find it.
Culture change where?
In Oakland. I believe that this is a culture change in Oakland. What they are just now starting to get folks on long-term contracts. And maybe starting with Matt Olson and Matt Chapman. More to come.
Who?
Who the fuck is Matt Olson and Matt Chapman? Here's an idea. Why didn't you start with Josh Donaldson or Reddick or Sonny Gray or... Fuck, go back even further. Start with Giambi or Chavez. Give those guys long deals, not guys that no one's ever fucking heard of.
Mike, your team is... They should have a new stadium in place already. They keep fucking around. Your team is not about winning. It's about getting as much money as they can. And don't let them fool you. They're not losing money. They're making money. That's why they keep getting rid of players. Your team isn't into winning. Your team is a perpetual tank. Your team is constantly tanking. So, there's no reason. That team needs to get taken away from the ownership, given to new owners, and let them do something with it. But they're going to leave. They're gone, Mike. And there's nothing you can do about it. And, they'll move to Nashville.
Miguel Tejada, for sure. Let's see. Once the Raiders leave, there will be many fixes of plumbing and the infrastructure at the Coliseum. No, there won't.
No, you know what's going to happen, Mike? Remember when, was it Detroit where they tore down the building and the bus parked in front of the camera? Yeah. No, Detroit was the one where they tried to blow it up.
And it didn't fall.
And it didn't blow up.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen because they're going to tear down the Coliseum. Once the Raiders leave, they're going to force the A's out. The A's are going to move. That Coliseum's going to come crashing down.
And there's going to be a Starbucks there.
Yeah, and the arena, gone. There's no need for the arena over there anymore.
And then all those Giants fans are going to become Warrior fans, and the Kings fans are going to become A's fans. But then they're really not because the A's are going to be gone. And in like San Jose, which means all of them.
No, they're not going to go to San Jose. They can't.
Right, they're going to come. Maybe they'll come to Sacramento. Who knows? But it's not going to.
They're going to go to Nashville.
Oh yeah, they can go to Nashville. They're rooted in Nashville. You got a second to do one more thing? You got time? Or do you want to go?
No. Okay.
So 49er fans on Facebook they're not going to Howard Terminal, Mike. That ship has sailed. There was a ship parked in Howard Terminal waiting for the Oakland A's, and they decided to go to Laney goddamn College and tear down the administration building that was just built 2 years ago, and that got squashed. They're not going to Howard's Terminal. The A's fucked that up like they fucked up everything else. There's a better chance of the MLS awarding the Sacramento Republic FC a team tomorrow than the A's going to Howard's Terminal.
Yep.
Oh, and there's apparently progress on that as well.
I heard that. I saw that.
The 49er fans. I'm in a couple 49er fan Facebook groups. I've been trying to build our listenership up here because 49er fans are actually pretty faithful when it comes to opinions and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the topics came up about, that's where I saw the Jordy Nelson thing originally a couple days ago, and CBS Sports just announced it today that he may be cut. But the other one is, the name that keeps popping up is Richard Sherman.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
And he may get cut by Seattle, coming off the Achilles injury. And it blows my mind how many 49er fan and Raider fans alike are hell-bent on, you played for the rival, I don't want you on my team.
What's that sound like?
It sounds like Kings fans to me.
Right.
And the thing is...
Probably the same guys because, Kings fans are 49er fans.
Right, because of the proximity.
Yeah.
And I saw this a little while back that was asking about Crabtree coming back. And they're like, no, he played for the enemy. Him and Bowman can never come back. Once you're a Raider, you're never a Niner. And I said, hold on. Didn't Ronnie Lott play for Oakland?
Didn't Jerry Rice?
And Jerry Rice went across the bay and played for Oakland, and you guys welcomed him back on. Well, that's different. Jerry Rice is a legend. Yeah, but based on your logic, he went to Oakland, therefore he's never a 49er.
There's your biggest mistake. You're talking to people on the internet, in chat rooms.
Exactly.
About logic.
So, and every time this chick posted about anything, I was like, nope, can't be. You said he's not allowed. Like, every time she had an argument, I'm like, nope, you said it. And she ended up blocking me. And then TJ just said, Darrelle Revis played for the Jets and then later played for the Patriots, and I welcomed him with open arms. Because if you have a chance for your team to win and get better, you take it. And a perfect example of that is James Harrison signed with New England.
Right.
James Harrison was a Steeler, a long rival of the Patriots in the last couple of years because of the playoffs.
Some people don't think they're rivals.
Based on playoff matchups and sports in general, the matchups in general, they started to become a rivalry.
Right.
And if you have a chance to bring in a guy like Richard Sherman to the 49ers and mentor Akilah Weatherspoon or Jimmy Ward or Williams or whoever else is on the outside, or let's say you go out and you get dude from Butler from New England, or you go up and you get Kyle Fuller, who I think would be a better signing out of Chicago than even Butler would be, or hell, sign them both. You have the money. You bring in Richard Sherman to be that second, third, fourth defensive back. Regardless of how much people say he's declined over the last couple of years, look it up. Richard Sherman is still one of the lowest targeted defensive backs in all of football. And James just said, Sherman coming off the Achilles, no thanks. Depending on how his rehab is and how quick he's coming back from it, it's a low risk, high reward. You're not going to have to pay him a ton of money. He's
not going to be an every down player.
He's not going to be an every down guy.
Starter.
And if he can teach, if he can teach these guys how to play and be, and someone else said, oh well, he's a loudmouth and he's this and he's that. Good. Teach these guys to have some edge to them.
He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys, and there's guys like this in every sport. He's not on your team, you hate him. You can't stand him.
My geographic rivalries don't count. That's why the Niners and Raiders aren't rivals.
Right. He's one of those guys that you hate. He
gets in the head of people.
But he comes on your team, all of a sudden he is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
And everyone's like, oh, he's a thug. He's a thug. No, he's a Stanford graduate who's an extremely intelligent person.
Absolutely.
And I get that he's going to feel like he's still a starter. And James says no way he signs to be a third or fourth corner. If the market dictates that he's not going to be a starter.
He's not going to be a starter.
And, whether he feels that or not, he's getting older. He's not going to sit out a season.
Right.
So you give him a shot. You say, hey, you know what? Come in and prove to us that you're better than our first-year corner in Ahkello Witherspoon, or prove that you're better than this guy. Maybe you move him over to safety. Eric Reed's leaving. Put him at safety. Do something different, but you get that guy to teach the young guys. Now, I don't think it's going to happen. This is all kind of hypothetical, and I'm just talking about more or less the mindset of 49er fan that says, well, you don't bring him in because he used to be a Seahawk. If you can get information on the Seahawks defense because you bring in a guy like Richard Sherman, even if you pick his brain for all of the preseason and then you're like, you know what, this isn't working, we're going to cut you, at least you got intel.
Yeah.
You get better by knowledge, and if you can get the knowledge on one of your rivals, who I don't think the Seahawks are going to do shit this year, and I made a bold prediction that what was my prediction last? It was that the Niners were going to win the NFC West and overtake the Rams. My other prediction for the NFC West is that Pete Carroll's team misses the playoffs again and Pete Carroll retires.
I think so too.
I think now that the true rival of the 49ers is the Seahawks, the rivalry is truly divisional in nature. Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen. That's going to start falling off. I think the Rams and Niners rivalry from the early 2000s and late 90s is revisited.
I think what happens in a division is the rivals are the teams that are successful at that point. You can't. I mean, the Rams and the Niners have been rivals for 60 years.
Ever.
But the last 10 years, has it really been that big of a deal?
It hasn't been.
Yeah, because neither one team or the other hasn't been relevant.
Right, and now they have a chance to both be relevant.
It's like the Lakers and the Kings.
Yep.
Okay, whatever. It's like the Giants. Well, the Giants and the Dodgers, I think, are one of those that's special.
That one will never go away because it goes back so far to New York.
And I think that's like the Yankees and the Red Sox, the Cubs and the Cardinals. Those rivalries are the Bears and the Packers. It doesn't matter, but the rivalries in the NFC West are basically,
it's a revolving door.
As long as the top couple of teams are going to be rivals, everybody else is.
Right, and yeah, so like I said, this isn't a narrative on let's go out and get Richard Sherman, but it's more of a why would you not want to get better if you have a chance to sign someone that's a high quality player regardless of where he played.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if the Chicago Bears tomorrow had a chance to sign Aaron Rodgers, should they have to cut him because of the way that they messed up the injured reserve, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you really think Bears fans are going to be like, fuck Aaron Rodgers, he used to be a Packer, we don't want his ass here? Or if the Patriots somehow mess up a piece of paper and they release Brady, you think the Dolphins aren't going to be like, hey, Tannehill, kick rocks, we're signing Brady, and Dolphin fans are going to be like, oh, no.
Take it back in the day. No. I don't know.
But it's like it's that logic that it's like, come on now. I mean, related to the NBA, you think if the Kings had a chance to sign Kobe,
that's where I was going to go. I didn't want to start that.
You don't think that Kings fans would be like,
you don't think if the Kings had a chance to sign Robert Horry?
You take them.
You take 'em.
It's a mentor role. It's a way to get better, and
Yeah.
I hate that about Kings fans or about sports fans. Your allegiance can be solid, but when it comes to your team getting better, there should be no lines drawn in the sand that you can't cross when it comes to signing another player. You think Raider fans, when they were bringing Jerry Rice in, even at the end of his career, were like, "Fuck Jerry Rice. He's a Niner. I don't want him getting our wide receivers better." Jerry Rice jersey sales was the #1 jersey that year, and they were in silver and black. You have to, like I said, allegiances are one thing, but at the end of the day, it comes down to who's wearing the 49ers jersey and who's winning games.
Right.
And if you can sign a Richard Sherman or anybody, if Thomas, if their safety became available, or before Jimmy Garoppolo, if Russell Wilson became available, guess who you're looking at signing? You're signing someone that can make that team better.
Back in the day, the Niners and the Cowboys were
swap players all the
they were
time.
pretty good rivals. And Ken Norton and Deion Sanders had pretty good runs with the Niners.
Didn't Charles Haley start in
San Francisco?
I thought he started in
San Francisco. Went to Dallas,
and then came back.
And they came back.
Yeah, but no one was like, "Oh, I don't want Charles Haley here. He played for the Cowboys." Yeah. If Primetime tried to come back, guess who you're signing? You're signing Primetime.
Absolutely.
So knock that shit off, 49er fan, Raider fan, and man, and stop calling the game against the Raiders this season the rival game of the season. It's a competition against the Bay. It's the Bay Area rivalry. It's not a football rivalry. And you only have what?
And it's not really a rivalry.
No, they
play once every 4 years.
And that's going to change because they're no longer going to be in the Bay after next season anyways. So deuces. Anyways, that's our show this week, guys.
Hang on, one more thing.
No, it's not our show. What's up?
I got one more thing.
Let's go. We're on a roll.
We're on pet peeves.
Oh, here we go.
What if I told you you wanted to sound credible on a sports opinion page?
Okay.
And you can't write.
Fuck.
The headline of your thing is C-Web don't know how to say a name.
And it's N-O, not
Yeah,
K-N-O.
and it's N-O, not K-N-O-W. And then you use there, or there wrong. Use no and no wrong. Hell, I've seen 2 and 2 and 2 wrong.
And let me add into this. If you're on a fitness page, or if you're on just a page in general, and you say you want to lose 30 pounds, no. You can't lose anything. I don't want the 49ers to lose to the Seahawks this weekend. Go Niners. What the fuck does that mean?
And since we're really going after it, try mixing in a period or a comma once in a while.
I'm guilty of that when I get on a rant. I'm just like, my thumbs are going. But
I've seen the longest sentence, run-on sentences I've ever seen in my life are on sports. They're 8 sentences long, and it's all one big sentence. So try mixing in a comma or a period or a line break or something so I know what you mean. It just drives me nuts. My high school or my 8th grade English teacher, I posted something like that yesterday, and my 8th grade English teacher commented just with shake my head and eyes rolled. It's like, I can imagine somebody who's in that particular situation who goes on those boards just drives. God, it would kill him.
It's crazy.
Yeah, if you're gonna.
Sorry, we're not doing the Greggies.
If you're if you're talking on a sports board, learn how to write, learn how to spell. Don't write like you talk because you talk like an idiot. It makes you just sound. I'd love for somebody to write Vladi an email and write it like they do on a sports board and see how much of it he reads. I mean, even Vladi, who can't speak English, would know that that's crappy English.
Well, James Darnell, who's in here right now, would know that extremely well. We're actually going to have him on as the football season gets closer. He actually writes for El Grove.
Oh, yeah.
One of the papers in El
Grove.
Grove.
He joined us last week for the first time.
And I'm sure he can preach to the choir to this. If he were to submit a article to his editor, whoever it may be, and it's full of the wrong no and no's and 2 and 2 and 2 and there and there's, or loose and lose. 49ers lose a tough one to the Seahawks this weekend, 24-2, TOO 21.
Their THEIR are not going to the playoffs.
Right. And I know that. Like, he's going to get fired in a heartbeat. And what's funny is a lot of these people that are in these groups that are posting all the time are hoping to get recognized by somebody or want to get on a blog or want to do something. And they don't realize that there's a running record of everything that they're doing.
Right.
And you're just shooting yourself in the foot.
And it's not
shooting yourself in the foot.
It's not like we're talking about high-level English grammar type things. This is like third grade stuff. It just boggles my mind. Just boggles my mind that somebody who is an adult in the workplace has no grasp about just basic grammar.
It's terrible. It's we need a Charles Barkley. Terrible. And then I want to get a LeVar Ball. Never lost. I'm starting to love LeVar. You talked about it a few weeks ago. You're starting to love LeVar.
Oh, I love LeVar.
He's a train wreck. Speaking of that, have you seen the story that came out that said the Lakers' aggressiveness in free agency will impact whether or not the other two brothers sign with the Lakers or not? Because now that they've played a year over in wherever the hell they're playing at, I guess they'd be eligible to join the NBA. And he said, "Oh, the Lakers' free agency is going to determine where the other three brothers play. That way, all three of the Bs are on the team." And blah. The Lakers basically came out and told him to shut the fuck up in the nicest way possible. Basically said, "Keep your name out of our mouth."
Well, last week it was the Lakers are going to sign all three brothers, or they're not going to have any.
Or LeVar leaves, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Alonzo leaves, and it's like at that point the Lakers are like, they call a board meeting. They're like, "Hey guys, listen, you guys see this headline? LeVar says if we don't sign LiAngelo and LaMelo, then we're going to lose Lonzo. You guys want to take a vote?" They're like, "All right, all in favor say aye."
Lonzo, bye.
Yeah, we're not re-signing him. See you, Lonzo. We're trading your ass next year.
He can join the 2 hunters on the unemployment line.
Right, all the hunters on the Giants roster. The Lakers had to know what they were getting into when they drafted.
Yeah,
Lonzo.
but don't you think Magic's pretty headstrong and he's pretty strong. Don't you think in the back of his mind he thought he could fix it? He thought that he could or just deal with it and override.
Or once the Lakers, his son was a Laker, maybe he'd shut the fuck up a little bit because it's not all eyes on them anymore. Like he's actually drafted. Wrong. God, that guy, man. I thank the stars every time that the Kings didn't move up quicker because
it's bad enough as it is around here.
If you look at raw talent, it's hard to pass up Lonzo Ball. I mean, he's going to be a good player in the league.
He's got a lot of flaws, though.
He does, but so does De'Aaron Fox, and I think he's going to be a great player too. But he's one of those guys where it's really hard to pass him up. But at the same time, you look at the intangibles of his dad, and you're like, damn it, who wants to trade into this pick? You know, and it's like I know. I just don't understand the logic behind the Lakers.
I'm going to make a bold prediction. My bold prediction is
he's on the Knicks.
In 3 years, he's playing in Europe.
Lonzo?
Yeah.
I won't go that far. I think he's there, but I don't.
I think he'll be playing in Europe. Who's going to want to take a chance on him? Nobody's going to be able to control Dad. Dad's not going to think that the guy is deserving anything other than number one top player status. He's gonna want a max contract right out the gate. It's not going to happen. He's going to go to Europe.
Here's what I think happens. I think some New Jersey, New York, another big market team, hell, even the Lakers may offer him one of those max deals because the cap just keeps going up and they have to spend the money, and he's going to be a special player. I do believe so. However,
I don't think so.
I strongly believe that in that new contract, there's going to be some sort of stipulation that Lonzo agrees that his dad is not around the team. It's going to be like a gag order on his dad, and he's going to have to sign some sort of stipulation about that keeps the circus to a minimum around him as a player on whatever team it may be, so that we can focus on basketball and we're not distracted by your dad. And I think that's going to be ultimately what happens. And I think that's ultimately going to be the most difficult thing that gets worked into that deal, simply for the fact that teams aren't going to put up with his shit, or he's going to have to go to Europe. I don't think it's going to be a matter of his talent forces him there. I think it's the NBA owners and GMs are going to be in a stipulation where he ultimately decides whether or not he goes to Europe or not, and that's based on the way he wants to handle his dad.
Huh?
Really? So yeah, I mean that's just my take on it. Like I said, I don't think it'll be talent wise. I think it's gonna be LeVar that ends up ultimately sending him to Europe if he doesn't want to correct what he.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. He's not. Nobody's gonna take a flyer on this guy. The dad is just too much of a liability.
Yep.
So, I think there'll be a big European team that they'll want the publicity, and I think it's a done deal. I'd say 3 to 5 years he's in Europe.
Well, so he has 3 years on his first deal as a rookie, with an option I think at the 4th. So yeah, maybe that's what happens, but it's gonna be one of those things where you look back at it, and I think you look back at his career and you feel bad for the kid. I think ultimately you're gonna look, money aside, you're gonna feel bad for him that his career was altered by him not being able to tell his dad to basically shut the hell up.
Right.
So, there you have it. Anything else you want?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, that's our show. Episode 237 is in the books. We will be back next weekend. The following weekend, which is the weekend of March 3rd and 4th, there will not be a show. I will be in Los Angeles running the Toughest Mudder event. Stupid. And then coming home on that Monday. So there will not be a show that weekend. The following weekend, we will pick up shows, which is March 11th. But yeah, we will be here next week, 9 a.m. We will see you there. Hopefully there's a little bit more to talk about sports-wise, although we did fill up a lot more time than normal today talking about fans. So for Greg Baroza, I'm Greg Bowl. On behalf of everyone in the chat box, again, this show is brought to you by Greg Baroza of Keller Williams Realty. Check him out on Facebook. Check him out on our website. Go buy yourself a house.
That's right. Night, Larry.
See you guys next week.
How are we doing? Hour